What's up, everybody? It's your favorite heater, the last call, the Prime's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Mastermade Metroplex. We'll get this accessory right out of the way. I guess it's like the 6-gun. Oop. We'll talk about that there in a minute. Let's just set this to the side. These are magnetized. I just had somebody recently ask about third-party using magnets. That's pretty awesome. And then it has these which articulate down so that you can articulate the cannons a bit. And then it has the little writing on there too, which are those stickers? No. He also comes with this arm shield, which plays a part later, and you can just peg that into the arm, any 5mm port. It does hinge. It's not a big deal, but it can pose a bit of a challenge just to get started, and then you'll be sorted, no problem. Then we have the other gimmick, which is the head. Now, the light up feature is done right there. I'll try to turn off the lights for you so you can see it. So there. It's done with this little switch here. Off. So we'll start at the top. Now, we talked about this a bit. Now, I saw this here on Aces, and this is all known to me from Ace. Not sure if I mentioned it from Realm of Collectors. Check them out on YouTube. He's a good dude. He was here at Skullface and dropped a bunch of stuff off. So there's magnet size, at least on this side. So I am guessing that there were magnets glued here, and the magnets were too strong, and as a result of trying to take this on and off, something got lost there and attached the magnet poorly. Or too strong so you couldn't get it off, if you know what I'm saying. This eyeglass piece is also removable, so you can go with that look, which is more my speed. And then there is a way here. Is it this piece here? Yes. This piece here articulates the jaw in the front. So I like to play a game. And you can kind of have your way with that. So let's put the visor back on so we don't lose anybody's stuff. And it's a translucent plastic, so we're going to be careful. We're going to leave this off because it's just going to fall off for now. Okay, so these articulate. You also got, I'm guessing that's a different type of plastic in there for the color breakup. The head itself is on a ball joint, and these pieces, I don't know if I'll be able to show you right this second. But the ball it is on a ball joint. However, it is relatively loose. But you get up to there. So while I was messing with this guy, I wanted to make sure that I noted that you can get this head all the way around this ball peg. Initially, it felt like that was too much, but it does. I mean, it slides against this plastic on the top of the chest, but it is doable. Not much down, and then the swivel. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this right now. There's a piece in here that lights up too, like this opens up and it lights up. We'll do it as we go through the transformation. The shoulders are on a butterfly joint here at the torso, so you get a little bit of front and back, and then they hinge out there, and then in addition to all that, you get the swivel. So nothing much more to ask for. The only issue is the arms are weighty, and it does flop around a little bit at the torso hinge as a result of that weight. This also for transformation, but if you like the look, you can have these kind of angled up, which I kind of have been playing with. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow, getting you a little bit past 90 degrees. Wrist is on a swivel here. Let me show you. But it's also on a hinge out and in, and then all the fingers are on individual joints. So ball joint at the thumb to one hinge, and then these are not ball joints, but they're not much better. Actually, they are ball joints. And then hinges at the next knuckle up. So fairly articulated, but they're kind of floppy a little bit. Same for the other side. Detailings wise, you got this red paint for the letterings and stuff, the same kind of stuff we talked about in Trypticon, these little symbols and whatnot. Really looks good. Down here we have all sorts of paint as well, the red paint, and then the same. Waist swivel. Universals for hips, but they're not ratcheted, and there's a lot of weight in the hips, so it's a little loose, which is a bit of a bummer. So that sucks. And then up to there, back to there. As you can see, it also has a double jointed knee. Totally destroys the sculpt, but the range of motion is insane. So no problems, really. Different color plastics and such breaking up the sculpt as we've saw with Trypticon, and then the same red paint and orange paint that we've seen throughout looking good. For the foot, we have an ankle tilt down to there, so straight flat, and up a little bit, and then the rocker is built into a pretty good angle. Same sort of detailing down at the bottom, and the pieces are down here are die cast here. This is plastic. That's die cast as well. So a lot of weight, a lot of color, and a lot of articulation with a couple of kind of misfigured engineering things along the way in terms of function. Size comparison wise, there he is with Hasbro's Metroplex. And I'm just going to say, every time I get this Hasbro Metroplex out, I realize how much I dislike it. But that's neither here nor there. There he is next to it. Alright, let's get him transformed. Flatten the feet out. Now, I don't have instructions, so you know this is probably not going to go all that well. But you have to get the legs all the way up, and there is like this... it doesn't feel good. Oof. Just doesn't feel good. And then plug them in. I think you can see there's two there, and then there's one on the foot. You can slide these pieces forward if they haven't already slid forward. And then the head is the next big step. And this is a tight little connection there. But if you pull underneath these red things, you should be able to get it. Rotate the head around. And then you push back up. And it's supposed to lock in place. Maybe. That feels pretty good. Alright, for the arms, like, I've seen all sorts of stuff on the interwebs. You know what a dark and lonely place that is. But I've seen all sorts of different configurations. I don't know what the official way is, but it seems like the most common way that folks are doing it are just sort of making a fist, turning it around to the back. Make sure the hands are down to kind of hide it the best you can. And this keeps coming untabbed for me. We'll worry about it in a minute. You lift this piece up here, and then you have all sorts of like little doodads. So I didn't mention these with the accessories, but they're kind of accessory-ish. You take these here, they're plugged into the back, and you just plug them up into the front. And same for this side. Plugged into the front. Why is this not staying? And then you have the same ones on here, and these do come out. You can do whatever you want with them, but simple to just rotate them to the front. And then you can pull these up here on both sides, and then you can rotate these up, and this is pretty much it. I don't feel like this is as effective, and mainly because I've seen lots of stuff, like I said, mod wise with the arms, but I haven't seen anything that looks great. It is cool that when you rotate this, these are on, you can do whatever you want with these too, but when you rotate these out, these like missile pod things come up. That's an added bonus, I think. But I don't know. It's fine, I guess. There is a couple other things you can do. You take your magnetic guns, flip the handles out and around to the back, and connect this. Right, this goes on here some kind of way. Now it's got to go up here. Oh, this folds. I'm an idiot. There. That was very stupid of me. Forgive me. And then these two pegs here plug into the back there. It doesn't really matter. It's personal preference. And then you have this, and these articulate. And all these articulate. All the little cannons and stuff articulate. It's fine. You got the rubber wheels. It rolls. But it just, I don't know. It's just kind of fine. It's kind of like, it's good enough, I guess. Do you know what I mean? It's not impressive, but it'll do. And now we'll go to city mode, and I'll be able to show you the other LED and all that kind of stuff. Lift these up. I guess it doesn't matter. Split these legs open, and then you can lift these up here. Take the gun off. Some of these accessories, you know what? We'll talk about that. I have as you saw earlier, I have a hard time getting these to slide well. So I wonder if plugging this in to the back won't help me with that. You see how tight it is? Yeah, it does. That's pretty awesome. I mean, not awesome because it's kind of a fail point for the toy. Not fail, but you know what I mean. Alright, so take these off. This comes up, and this is your tower. And then this sits up on top. And then this one, I think they have it out to the side, which I guess is fine. And once again, take this off. Rotate it around to the top. There's also this piece here, which I forgot to mention. If I'm able to get it. There's another piece in here. Let me see if I can. There it is. It's like a little satellite thing that comes up that you can have that in the aircraft carrier mode too, or whatever it is. Alright. Now that it's like this with these two things back, I should be able to... I'm not going to deal with it right now. Like Ultra Magnus. Alright, take these. These come together and these plug into the back, and then you want this around to the front this time. So put them in up there. And plug them in. And once again, where you want all these little turrets and stuff, that's up to you. It's your call. You can do whatever you like. I think that, you know, we talked a little bit about this with Trypticon, that it's, you know, it's these base modes and all that are a little vague. But I think that that actually works a taste better than Trypticon. I don't know. It at least works as well. It definitely works better than the aircraft carrier mode or whatever that thing is. This actually gives some sort of illusion of a base. So, and it seems like everything is kind of in a proper spot. But I think that's kind of always the case with Metroplex anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's fine. As you can see, I was able to finally get that middle piece out, and it lights up perfectly. The little switch for it is right there, and the problem that I have getting it out is just that connection is, it means business. It means business, for one, and then for two, like I'm having trouble getting it back in. Getting your fingers into that space is a bit challenging also, but that's where it is. That's how it works. Final thoughts wise, there's a few things that irritate me about this one. The number one thing is the lock of moving the hip joints to getting them 90 degrees out straight. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't have good feels. It feels like you're hurting the piece in some way. Secondly, there's some things that don't move as smoothly as you'd like them to, and then there's other things that move far too freely. For instance, the hip should have been ratcheted on this guy. That would have been a big help. These butterfly joints should have been more secure, etc. The magnets, although we've seen them work well on the gun, obviously we've had some issues with this one along the way at some point, and then so it's not like, so this is constantly falling off. These things on the side are constantly falling off. It's frustrating in that way. It's just it's irritating. However, there's still tons of playability here. The materials are still great. The gimmicks are cool, like all the light ups, the jaw moves, the magnetized guns. All that stuff is cool. The base mode works. The other mode, and then the robot mode works fairly well. Do I recommend it? I guess. I mean, just definitely take into account those things that I mentioned as far as criticisms. It's definitely not my favorite. Like, I have no interest in buying this, whereas with the Trypticon, I was much more tempted. This one, I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, it's fine. But there is care here. There's rubber tires. There's articulation. There's good stuff. You know, it's not like it's terrible or anything. It's just it's just a little. It's a little flimsy in the sense of like all these moving pieces that are coming. This is one of the few that stays together in this one, but like the shoulder mounted ones, some of these like smaller turrets, obviously that, and then the visors are an extra piece, and I get what they're trying to do. I just think that sometimes it's a bit much, and here it's a bit much because it ends up detracting from the actual enjoyment of the figure, at least from my perspective. So thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Till next time, take care.